Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio, this is SGTV News 4.
What's up, Carolina? I'm Nathaniel Lemons.
And I'm Kendall Smith. Welcome to Carolina Calendar. We are here keeping you up to date on what's happening around campus in Columbia and throughout the state.
This week on the show, we will talk about Dance Marathon, the presidential primaries, and later we'll bring on a special guest to talk about how diet choices may affect your risk of cancer. Welcome back. We have some really exciting events around campus to kick off the show this week. So, Kendall, what have we got first?
Well, we do have some very exciting events, including the Dueling Pianos Thursday After Dark. That will be tonight from 8 to 11, and it will be located at 1626 Main Street. Transportation is provided, and it is free with your Carolina card. Now, this sounds like a lot of fun.
I actually took piano for 3 years when I was a kid, but I don't think I could play anything more than Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I can play hot cross buns, and I learned it from my babysitter, but I do not have a musical bone in my body, so I don't think I'd be able to compete necessarily in the dueling pianos, but our music school has some very talented students that could probably throw down there at dueling pianos.
It would definitely be worth it to go out and see what people can do.
And it's absolutely free. So once again, Thursday After Dark putting on another fantastic event for us tonight. Now, what else do we have going on, Nathaniel?
Well, this is a big deal, y'all. The USC Dance Marathon main event is this Saturday, February 29th. It'll be at Strom Wellness and Fitness Center, and it starts at 10 a.m. and goes until midnight.
Wow, talk about burning calories for a cause.
On your feet the whole time, dancing, raising money, social media, everything. It is one of the biggest events we have here on campus.
I truly feel like I have been seeing so much about the Dance Marathon around South Carolina since the start of the school year. We are finally at their peak point where they have the main event. This is where they reveal how much money they've raised for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I mean, it is so exciting, and these Dance Marathon kids have put in so much work.
I think they raised over $1 million last year, and I think they're hoping to surpass that this year, so I'm really excited to see what they do.
No better way to ring it in than with dancing. And speaking of other very exciting things that we have going on this week in Carolina, the African American Leadership Conference will be held this Saturday, February 29th at the Darla Moore School of Business on Level 1. That is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Once again, another fantastic opportunity for our students here to showcase their abilities and learn how to become better leaders.
I'm really excited to see so much focus on diversity. I feel like we've had 3 or 4 events this semester really focusing on how to get people from diverse backgrounds in leadership positions on campus, which is really important.
It's really exciting to see, and honestly, any opportunity to improve leadership skills will be so beneficial to any student on this campus. So great opportunity on Saturday from 8 to 4 at the Darla Moore School of Business.
And to continue with what's going on in Columbia, we have Dancing with the Stars live at the Township Auditorium.
Are you going? That is tomorrow night.
It is. I'm not going to be able to go, but I think that'll be a great deal.
So I'm super bummed because I am also going to be missing it for the Carolina-Clemson baseball game, which, you know, I feel like it's a good excuse. That baseball rivalry is a really big deal in the Palmetto State, but still, me and my sports, but I do love my Dancing with the Stars. I'm a little bit upset that I'm going to be missing out on that, but anyone who has the amazing opportunity to go will enjoy it for sure, getting to see all of those stars just dancing up a storm.
Absolutely.
So much dancing going on around campus.
And if you missed that, there is a Great Gatsby ballet hosted on Friday, February 28th from 8 to 10 p.m. at the Koger Center. Admission is $12 for students and $22 to $54 for other tickets.
Wow.
That sounds like a really interesting ballet. I don't know how they would make Gatsby into a ballet.
I feel like Gatsby is one of those things that people twist into so many different ideas, whether it's a party or dancing. Like, there are so many ways that you can use this theme and make it so incredible.
It's a classic for sure, and everything that is produced at the Koger Center is worth your time.
Have you read the book?
Of course.
Of course. I feel like
it's a must.
Every single high school English teacher, I feel like, has their students read that book, and rightfully so. It is absolutely amazing. I actually skated to a song from The Great Gatsby. I'm a figure skater, and
I guess if you can skate to that, you can ballet to that
as
well.
I know, so yeah, I kind of understand what they're going for here, being a figure skater myself. Well, Big weekend in terms of politics here in Columbia. We have presidential candidates coming to Columbia on Friday, February 28th. Bernie Sanders will be at the State House steps at 3:30 p.m. And also on Friday, Pete Buttigieg will be at the Columbia Town Hall at 7 p.m. You can visit wistv.com to find out more about where candidates are throughout the rest of the week. Big primary, not just Democratic.
This is my area of interest, and I've really been following it, and I'm really excited to see the candidates here and just to see what they put on for this final push for votes.
Absolutely. We've gotten to watch them in Iowa and New Hampshire, and now it's finally time for the state of South Carolina to be in the news, to step up, to have their opportunity to have their voices heard, and I think it's really exciting. It's
really important that you stay educated, so we'll be putting out packages on those. Make sure you go and watch.
Go and watch for sure, and do not forget to vote. It is our civic duty,
so
get out there and vote. We have a lot of exciting things politics-wise coming up in the state of South Carolina and throughout our nation.
And when we come back, we'll have your latest on the bigger things happening around the state, so stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. We are now joined by our reporter, Caden Dinkins, who has the latest on what's big right now in the state. Caden, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Kendall. The rest of this week will get political as the South Carolina presidential primaries start on Saturday. Citizens will be able to vote for Democratic and Republican nominees. Voting begins Saturday at 7 a.m. and ends at 7 p.m. Find your local polling location at columbiasc.net.
Just as we were talking about earlier in the show, lots of political happenings around the state this weekend. So exciting.
And honestly, what I think is so interesting about this is that I'm not sure who is going to win the Democratic vote here. I really do not know.
I don't either. It'll be an interesting
a wild card.
contest.
It'll be interesting to see for sure.
And it's definitely going to be telling of the rest of this story. I mean, who is going to get that nomination? This state obviously plays a really big role in finding that out. So we'll be excited to see.
Yes.
What else do we have, Kaden?
The President Donald Trump rally is in Charleston. The Keep America Great rally at North Charleston Coliseum starts at 7 p.m. and you can purchase tickets at donaldjtrump.com.
This is interesting. I think sometimes we forget that Trump actually is running for president again and all the commotion with the Democratic debate. Agreed. So this is also an important event to think about.
And SGTV is covering this event as well, so be on the lookout for that. I'm sure there will be plenty of coverage coming from many different aspects, but SGTV will be there covering, so look out for it. It's definitely going to be a big event. Donald Trump coming down to the state of South Carolina. I know that Mike Pence was here just a couple of weeks ago.
Big deal.
So the Republican Party definitely making their name heard in the midst of a big Democratic primary coming up in the state.
Well, what have you got next for us, Caden?
So another thing happening in Charleston is at the James Allen County Park is the Race to Save Lives. It features a 10K, a 5K, and a virtual at-home race. The races start around 9 a.m. Tickets are between $30 and $45, and all proceeds go to education for organ and tissue donation.
A virtual at-home race.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Wow.
That sounds like the race for us. We've been talking about all these races,
all these
10Ks and everything. Just give me some VR goggles and let me run it.
Absolutely. That's fantastic.
You have to be careful at your house. You don't want to run into things.
I know. But it is a good way to go out and get exercise if you don't want to stay at home. And obviously, all of the causes that are involved in this are absolutely incredible.
Yes, still support a cause from home.
Alrighty. Well, when we come back, we'll have Professor Susan Steck to talk about how diet choices may affect your risk for cancer. So stay tuned.
Welcome back, Gamecocks. We are thrilled to be joined now by our special guest, Dr. Susan Steck of the Public Health School here at USC. She is here to answer a few questions for us, so thank you so much for joining us here today, Dr. Steck. How are you?
Thanks, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. So obviously we heard that February and March are two very big months in terms of health. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So February is Cancer Prevention Awareness Month, and March is coming up as National Nutrition Month. So this is a really timely topic and time to have a good conversation about diet and cancer.
Absolutely. I feel like it's always a good time to talk about these topics
Especially
for sure.
on a college campus, it's good to get people aware early. So we're really glad to have you here and talk about it.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, first off, we wanted to start with a pretty general question. Can you explain to us in layman's terms how poor eating habits can affect your overall risk of cancer?
Yeah, sure. So there's been a lot of research to suggest that diet can affect cancer risk. And a lot of the work that we do over in the School of Public Health relates to dietary patterns. So not just focusing on a specific nutrient or a specific food, but looking at kind of the whole diet, the balance of the quality of the diet in relation to cancer risk. And I think there's three main things that people can think about in terms of nutrition and cancer. So first of all, I would be remiss if I didn't mention smoking. So smoking is not related to nutrition, but of course one of the major risk factors. And so if you don't smoke, don't start. And certainly if you do smoke, try to stop. But second to that, really what we know is that maintaining a healthy body weight is really important for cancer prevention. And I don't think people often recognize that. I think most people know that obesity, carrying some extra weight is a risk factor for diabetes and heart disease, but it is also a risk factor for a number of different cancers. And then the second thing we say is also related to diet is to maintain like a plant-based diet, to try to move towards more fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. And in so doing, you can not only help to maintain that healthy weight, but also get all those nutrients and phytochemicals and vitamins and minerals that are protective against cancer. And then the third one that is not so popular, but is also a risk factor, is alcohol. So alcohol is a major risk factor for many types of cancer. So you want to try to reduce the intake of alcohol to reduce the risk of cancer later in life.
And that's all very interesting. I took a food and psychology class last semester. We were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And we also talked about how alcohol and obesity can impact mental health. So I think that's just really an interesting conversation to have about general well-being in the long term and diet.
It certainly is, definitely, and I wanted to kind of piggyback off what you said about plant-based diets. A lot of people now are kind of experimenting with that, going vegetarian, going vegan. What are your thoughts on that overall?
Yeah, so a lot of the research suggests that people who do eat a more plant-based diet, so more fruits and vegetables and whole grains, trying to get more fiber in the diet specifically, like brown rice and 100% whole wheat breads, but also more beans and nuts and seeds. And then if you reduce the amount of red meat and processed foods and processed meat, those types of diets can reduce the risk of many types of cancer. And so we really encourage that. And I know not everybody wants to go vegetarian or vegan, but certainly if you think about your plate and kind of look at it, we like to say maybe 2/3 of it should be fruits and vegetables, plant-based whole grains and beans, and then maybe 1/3 if you want to maintain like a side dish of that animal protein.
Well, kudos to anyone who could do that. I personally don't know if I could do it, so I really have a lot of respect for anyone that is grounded enough to take those diet approaches.
Absolutely. And an interesting thing to think about, do you have any opinions on how that can apply to dining options here on campus?
Yeah, so I think that really trying to keep the goal in mind, right, of focusing on a more plant-based diet. So trying to find those food outlets that offer fruits and vegetables as a side or an entree. You can think about swapping out things like a meat burrito for a bean burrito. And I think when you're in like a food court situation like that, just trying to find those outlets that offer fruits and vegetables. A salad is always a great go-to if you're struggling to find good sources of vegetables. You can mix it up with lots of different herbs and chickpeas to add a little protein and have different flavors. But yeah, sometimes it can be challenging, and I know it's also challenging sometimes to find healthy or easy ways to eat healthy that are also affordable. So I encourage you guys to look at the farmers market here. That's a great option for getting some healthy fruits and vegetables that are in season, local.
Those $10 vegetable baskets are really
yes.
a deal. I love those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Nothing like a really fresh fruit or a good vegetable to eat on the side of your dish.
Absolutely.
I mean, truly so fantastic. Now, one last question for you, Dr. Steck. If you could give students on this campus one piece of advice in terms of their eating habits, what would it be?
Well, I think, again, trying to take advantage of things that are offered here. So the farmers market, but also there's cooking classes. I don't know if people are very familiar with this, but there's free cooking classes with Student Health Services. And I think that's the key, not only for students, but for our general population, is trying to get back in the kitchen and cooking our own food rather than just grabbing something very quick that may not be as healthy. So maybe taking advantage of some of those opportunities here on campus.
That is great advice. We should definitely take advantage of
Absolutely.
those cooking classes.
I
I'm
need
not a
them
good
for
cook.
sure, for
Anyone who
sure.
knows me well knows I can't cook. So we should definitely get to that. It gets us eating healthier and also teaches us a few tricks in the kitchen.
All right.
fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Dr.
Sure.
Steck. We've really enjoyed having you. When we come back, we'll be right back with more. So stay with us. That's all we have for this week's show. Be sure to stay tuned every week to find out more about what's going on in Columbia and around the state.
Make sure to also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SGTV at USC. Reporting for Carolina Calendar, I'm Kendall Smith.
I'm Kaden Dinkins.
And I'm Nathaniel Lemons. Have a great week, Carolina, forever to thee.